Okay, I don't care how this take comes out. This is the take, okay? I'm not filming this intro again, okay? What's good, y'all? Welcome back. If you're not new here, then you know that's the look of shame because your girl has been gone for 2 years. Why? I can't tell you exactly, okay? Life's been lifing. I just needed a break, I guess. It was impromptu, it was not planned. There's been a block, I've been trying to come back. It's been a struggle, but we're here, okay? Today is the day. So we're just gonna jump straight into this video. You guys saw the title. It's 5 memoirs that changed my life. For me personally, memoirs are one of my favorite genres to read, y'all. I love getting into, I'm nosy, okay? I'm curious, I'm nosy. I love to know what's going on in another person's life. And I feel like reading memoirs is like a way that you can try on someone else's shoes and like walk them out in their shoes type of thing. So it's just cool to read about the human experience. So I have 5 memoirs. All of these memoirs have changed my life in one way or another, and I wanted to share them with you. Some of them you'll probably know, 1 or 2 you may not, but I hope this video can be a good reference for you, and let me know if you read any or plan to read any. Yeah, and also let me know your favorite memoir below. Let's jump in. Okay, number one, I know y'all seen this one, okay? I know y'all know this beautiful woman, Miss Viola Davis. Y'all, I read this last year. I listened to it and I read it, and y'all, this is so good. It is a very difficult read. She does not hold anything back, and this woman, the things that this woman, this sweet child, had to endure is disgusting, despicable, so tragic. But she has really taught me, and I know many others, that your life is in your control and you have the power to rewrite your story at any time, no matter what you've gone through in the past. So maybe I can read a little bit. It says, in my book, you will meet a little girl named Viola who ran from her past until she made a life-changing decision to stop running forever. This is my story, from a crumbling apartment in Central Falls, Rhode Island, to the stage in New York City and beyond. This is a path I took to finding my purpose, but also my voice in a world that didn't always see me. Yeah, y'all, I don't want to spoil too much. I went into this book not really knowing all that this woman went through, but after reading it, I had always been a fan of her work, but after reading her book, I'm like, this woman is a hero of mine, okay? As I said, I don't know if I actually said this, but I am an aspiring actress, an aspiring writer, and I am very interested in the industry and how people have their come up, and Viola Davis's come up, her journey. Yeah, this woman just persevered, okay? She had so much vision and so much tenacity, and I'm like, my life was not half as hard as hers, so if she can make it, I absolutely can make it. So read this book, it's a great one. Definitely be in a solid place because it can definitely be triggering, especially if you had domestic violence in your house, poverty, abuse, any of those things she experienced. So great book, highly recommend. Next book is called A Long Way Gone. Y'all, this is probably the first memoir I ever read as a child. My mom gave it to me when I was 12 years old. And this book is about a little boy. His name is Ishmael Bia, and this is him as an adult. I read this in the 5th grade, and I remember it drastically changed my life. It was kind of the first time that I realized that where you were born really has a dramatic effect on how your life is going to turn out. I was 12, like I said, when I read this book. The little boy is 12, and he is being affected by a war in Sierra Leone. And he is basically forced to become a child soldier, and it tells the journey of him becoming a child soldier, how war-torn his country was, how it affected his life, his family's life, and his recovery process. This is a very tough read. It's very graphic, especially with all that is going on in the world. This could be a challenging one, but I highly recommend it because it showed me how lucky I am and how we have a duty to be aware of what's happening in the world and to see how it's all interconnected, and to not be complicit in things like war that are affecting children. So this is a beautiful book. It's very challenging to read. I try to read it every couple of years. It's actually been a minute, but let me read you the back. At the age of 12, Ismail Dia fled attacking rebels in Sierra Leone and wandered a land rendered unrecognizable by violence. By 13, he'd been picked up by the government army, and Bia, at heart Agent Du Bois, found that he was capable of truly terrible acts. At 16, he was removed from fighting by UNICEF, and though with the help of staff at his rehabilitation center, he learned how to forgive himself, to regain his humanity, and finally to heal. I think that's the part too, is that this book does show you, no matter how your heart and soul are when you're born, and a monster could live in all of us, and you don't know what circumstance can bring out that monster. That's definitely what this book taught me. So yeah, it's very, very good. Highly recommend, but definitely sensitive and very relevant for the times. All right, y'all. The next book has a very, very dear place in my heart. It's called The Sun Does Shine by Anthony Ray Hinton. It was nominated on the Oprah Book Club, and that's where I learned about it. I listened to his podcast and then I read the book. Y'all, this book changed my life, okay? I always knew that the prison system was terrible. Always knew that. I actually grew up with an incarcerated father and multiple family members throughout the prison system. My father was incarcerated my whole entire life until I was about 13. And it deeply affected him and our relationship and my family. And it's always been a passion in my heart to abolish the prison system. I've always had a fascination, or I guess not even a fascination, a connection to the prison system. So I knew this book was going to be tough for me, but it was way harder than I expected. Anthony Ray Hinton, I'm sorry you guys, I'm getting the synopsis on my phone. The Sun Does Shine is an autobiography by Anthony Ray Hinton about his life and experience as a wrongly convicted man. At the age of 29, Hinton was arrested in connection with a string of robberies that left 2 people dead. A poor black man living in Alabama, Hinton could not independently afford an attorney or mount a vigorous defense. Convicted and sentenced to death, Hinton would spend the next 28 years fighting for his freedom and his life. And he was innocent. He spent 28 years on death row in the state of Alabama, and the horrific, disgusting tellings of the prison system that this man gives us it's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking, but it's such a powerful story, and every single person in the United States needs to read this book to understand what our prison system is. Man, I don't want to give too much away, y'all. You really just need to read this book, but he really taught me the power of one's mind, how we are not reduced to our current state of bondage, that you can rise up no matter what situation you're in if your mental state is in good condition. He taught me about forgiveness, because you have to forgive. When you spend 28 years on death row for something you did not do, you have to forgive. There's no way to move on in life without forgiving, because that hate will eat you up, baby. So yeah, it's a heavy read, but it's an incredible book. It's really important for people to read this book to know what is happening in our country. Slavery, y'all, is alive and well, and it's just hidden behind the walls of prison. And yeah, it's a great book. Definitely read it. And I have one more, you guys. There's one last one. Oh, actually I have two more. I'm lying. The next one, Assata Shakur's autobiography. Y'all, another hero of mine, truly. This woman has given her whole life and sacrificed for the liberation of Black people, of brown people. And yeah, if you know who Assata is, she's she was on the Black Panther Party. She's a revolutionary, a writer. And she was also listed on the FBI's most wanted list as a terrorist for her ideas of liberation. This woman was a writer. She was a revolutionary. not a terrorist, and she was actually exiled to Cuba for the rest of her life because she stood up against the government back in the 70s. Y'all, I think about her so often. I think about all that she's given up. She's still alive to this day, and I find her story so incredible. The government, the US government, put this woman through so much, and all because she knew her power. She knew the power of her people, and she didn't run from this government and all that they did to try to keep her down, keep us down. She really taught me what it means to stand for something and die for something, and how much an empowered person is, to how threatening they are to a corrupt government, a person who is in their power. But let me find the summary. Account. Assata, former Black Panther and revolutionary activist, Assata Shakur invites readers on an extraordinary journey of resilience, resistance, and revolution. This captivating memoir traces Shakur's transformation from a young, disillusioned college student to a fearless champion of Black liberation. As she confronts the racial injustices and systemic oppression prevalent in the 1960s, America, through her raw and unflinching narrative, Shakur offers an unfiltered glimpse into the struggles, triumphs, and personal sacrifices endured by those fighting for racial equality. With Assata's unwavering spirit as our guide, this influential book challenges readers to question societal norms and ignite their own sense of activism, leaving a lasting impact on the pursuit of justice for all. Yeah, you'll be, if you have never read this book before, you will be blown away, disgusted, and enraged by all that the FBI and the government did to Black people fighting for themselves and their people. So yeah, highly recommend. And also another hero of mine. This last book is More Than Enough by Elaine Wentworth. This is probably the lightest book out of all of them, but still really good. Elaine worked for Teen Vogue. She made history as being, I think, the first Black editor, youngest editor of Teen Vogue, during a time when beauty standards were really changing. I listened to this book and read it as well, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't as life-changing as the rest of these books were, no offense to her, but I enjoyed her resilience. I enjoyed her perseverance. I enjoyed her vision of being this boss woman who knew what she wanted and just had vision and saw it through. It was really inspiring to read. I'm also, like I said, a writer, so reading about another writer's journey, editor, whatever, another artist's journey is always fascinating to me. And yeah, I didn't honestly know too much about Elaine. I had just heard a lot about this book. I kept seeing it come up, so I listened to it, and yeah, she read it, and she did a wonderful job narrating her own story. It was just a delight, honestly, to listen to. I really enjoyed it. I felt inspired and alive listening to it, and yeah, it'd be a good one to cushion in between the rest because these are a little heavy. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know, like I said, if you have any memoirs that you recommend. If you've read any of these, please let me know what you thought of them. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me on my first video back on YouTube. I'm a little camera shy and I'm a little sweaty and, like I said, a little sick, so don't mind the nasally voice or like the first time jitters, but I will, you know, liven up and be back to my confident self on here. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I can't wait to be back on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you very soon. Bye.